Executive producers on the show. I'm also a director on the show. This is Chloe Arbiter, who's our production designer, and John, who's our art director, and these two guys who you may know from television.
What's your name?
Oh,
right.
It's on his shirt.
Choi.
Dr. Choi. Come to the ambulance,
Wait,
people.
your name is... Oh, Will Halstead.
Yeah. Oh, they got the lights on for you. We did not have this going for the last group, you guys. This is very special.
Welcome to our ambulance bay, which is one of the newest additions within the last year. During last season, it was built. And it's awesome for several reasons. The main one being that we get to stay inside during winter. That's supposed to be funny.
They're all focusing their phones.
That's right. But what is really cool about it is that we can take the drama all the way from the back of the ambulance into the treatment rooms, upstairs, and we can do all of that in real time, one single shot, all the way from there into the back of the emergency department that you're going to see in just a little bit.
And what's nice about it is that our actors have trained well enough that they actually can take a patient from the back of an ambulance into a treatment room, cut them open, stick a tube in them, drain their chest, or give them a tube in their mouth and bring them back to life, and then take them upstairs to the OR. And they can do it. And they actually can do it in real life.
Stop it.
Yeah, everything you've seen my character do on the show, I can do in real life.
Yeah.
Killed a patient.
Yes.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
This is also exciting for us as a designer. It's exciting for me because this was designed to mimic our actual exterior that we shoot at a functioning hospital here in Chicago, Rush Hospital. And this was designed to mimic that, so we can cut seamlessly between a real exterior and then get out of the real ambulance's way to our exterior ambulance bay. So it's really cool for us.
This was being built at the end of one of our seasons, and so we knew we were going to get another season because why build this, right? Yeah, we're going to the hospital. I didn't even put my gloves on. What was I thinking?
Make sure you do that. Safety first.
These are real gloves, you guys. You wouldn't believe it.
So this is our emergency department that we lovingly call the football. And Michael has a great story about why it's called the football.
As it ended up, when we first started, before we built anything, this was just an open space. You know, we looked online and tried to see what the most modern emergency departments around the world look like. And they kind of looked open. They weren't just little hallways anymore with rooms off the side of them. And they were curvy and stuff. So I went into Dick Wolf's office and said, okay, so here's an idea. How about if we take a football, cut off each end, and we'll put the ambulance bay on one end, and we'll put the waiting room on the other end, and we'll just have rooms, and it'll go like that. And he said, okay, good. And so here we are at the football. The writers started writing in the word football in the football, so here we are.
Yeah, they actually put it in the script.
This stuff, and look, this is, you know, in so many ways you walk through this, and we love it because it's been built to feel real. Well, it almost is, because everything in these rooms kind of works.
So it's split into two sides, obviously. This side that we are going to go down, the first side, is all of our trauma bays. And as we walk down this, it's where, you know, the bad emergencies are going, the gunshots, the, you know, people that are having stab wounds, car accidents, all those really bad things where we might have to get inside of the person.
Get bloody.
And get bloody.
We love blood.
They all happen on this side. And as we come on down, take a peek inside the rooms, all this equipment is real. It's all functioning. You know, it's not obviously in use in a real hospital, but all the monitors that you see, all the beds you see, they're real equipment from hospitals that have been given to us to use for the set. The monitors are really cool. They're all controlled by a simulation program that we have a wonderful guy named Andy who does all of our video playback. He coordinates with the script. so that when we are doing dialogue and say somebody's pressure all of a sudden drops, when we look at the monitor, it is actually dropped. So all of that is synchronized so that the cameras can go from our dialogue straight to the monitors and see in real time what's actually happening based on what we've said.
It makes it a lot easier for us as actors to work with real props, and then we don't have to make believe that it's doing something that it isn't. We use real needles, we stab people.
Real scalpels.
Well, we do actually. We do use real scalpels, and
Yes.
usually we use them on not on real people.
Right.
Yeah.
we use
But
them on-
or sometimes we will, and we'll have a patient down there, and we'll put a steel body, thing on top of them with fake skin, and Colin will get the real knife, and we all say, okay, real scalpel on set, and he will cut, and blood comes out.
Our
because
special
it's preset
effects
in there
are-
and all that good stuff.
I have like a 95% success rate with not cutting people.
I think you cut yourself.
I
in
cut myself
season
once.
1 when you were doing an operation. I don't know, was it a scalpel or
I cut I've hooked myself with a needle.
You did, right?
I've cut myself with a scalpel, and I've cut Jeff Hepner.
You cut Jeff Hepner.
Really?
That's right.
Yeah, we all heard he had gloves on, and it was really, really bloody in there, and we heard the glove pop, and all of us went, "Whoop?" And he was like, "No, just keep going, keep going, keep going."
Oh my God.
He was fine.
No.
Just barely nicked him. You couldn't even tell the real blood from the fake blood.
So there's also, I think you'll notice, like, these rooms probably feel really small, and as you look in them, they might feel, like, surprisingly small, but the cool thing on our set, unlike a real hospital, is that all of the backs of the rooms come out. So we move those walls out, and that means we can get the camera further back. Also, behind you here, you'll see this square that's kind of popped out. That comes off the wall, and we can put a camera through there so we can shoot through the walls. So it allows us to make our world bigger without actually needing to physically expand our stage.
Yep. This is our medicine closet.
You
Michael?
know the code?
Yeah, I do. It's very difficult. We've all actually kind of joined forces to create it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
All the real drugs in there in case anybody
all
needs.
real. Anything? You guys want anything? maybe after the tour.
Don't let Dr. Choice this
It's gonna make the second part of the
Yeah,
tour
that's
really,
right.
really great. When you've watched the show and you've heard us refer to a trauma room, we'll be directed to take the patients to Baghdad. That is in reference to this room. It's
Yeah.
where the worst of the worst of the worst comes, and this is the room where most of the blood happens. You know, we just did a scene the other day where I was literally elbow deep in blood.
Blew up on you.
It really came. It was all over. It was pretty awesome.
You'd be in the splash zone right now
yeah,
if there were operators going on.
You know, like I was saying, like all of this technology is really, really cool. The X-ray machines, the beds are all state of the art, and they're built in such a way that we can actually use these things. It's an X-ray cassette that the new way they do it, these slide right into the table, so that we don't have to move patients over and do all complicated stuff that would make our jobs more difficult and real doctors' jobs more difficult. Those things, they can weigh the patients instantly so they know how much medicine to give them. Yeah, it's really neat, you know, along the lines of us saying, like, having the tools and the toys to play with that make it more real for us so that it's more, as close as possible to being the reality for the audience.
Yeah. Doctors are jealous of what we have, basically, real doctors.
Yeah.
We're state of the art. I mean, what can we say? This is the doctor's lounge. It's changed a little bit. We have talk about these windows.
Oh yeah, so these are another kind of cool component to the set. You'll notice all of our windows have kind of like crazy angles, and that allows us, we can move them on 2 axes, so we can move them this way and we can move them this way. And that means that when we're shooting, it's not a giant mirror, because as you know, your reflection can ruin a shot. So we can angle these, and that's throughout all of our sets. We have 4 stages full of sets, they all do that. So we make sure when we build new sets, it's called a gimbal, that everything's on a gimbal. So.
And I don't gimbal when I check my hair. Before every show, they've really done it. I'm going to thank you publicly for putting all these reflections in, because they really help us.
You might think that's a joke. It's not a joke.
You can trust him.
So, you know, down this side of the football is, you know, you see more rooms. They essentially look about the same, but this is where all of the non-trauma cases go.
Yeah. Stomach aches, headaches. Then we realize a stomach ache's a flesh-eating bacteria. We're like, whoa, take them to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically it's a mirror image, kind of, other than Baghdad.
I know you guys said most of these rooms are mostly functional. What about the sanitizers?
Hey, they are functional.
Yes, is that one?
This one's not on, but how do we turn those on from below? Do you know?
Put the battery in.
But we have that one on the other side. We can.
Yes,
That's
as we
right,
go
we'll
out.
show you later.
You can get some
Don't worry.
Sanitizing action.
Yes, you will
That's
no
right,
longer
actually-
have to pump your own sanitizer. We have automation.
We are state of the art.
What is functional are all these monitors at the nurse's station, and you just need the secret code, of course, to get in that. And no, you don't. You just hit the return button, and it puts that code in, and then you hit that, and then look, somebody's chart comes up, and then you can change the chart by just hitting some of these other buttons that may work. There you go. That may work for me.
Oh, sometimes it lets you type the whole thing in, that's right.
Well, and then you have different, depending upon what button you hit, it goes to a different screen. Now, of course, I hit the wrong button.
What if you don't look at that?
the tour's right.
Never mind.
That's the nurse's station right through here, and actually all these phones are real. Hold on a second. We're getting an incoming call.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Dick. How are you? Oh, we're in the middle of the tour. You know, it's a good time to... Yeah, he's right here. Hold on. Uh-oh.
Oh no, everybody. Oh yeah. No, everybody looks happy. Yeah. No, it's September 26th. They all come back on the air September 26th. You knew that. Okay, I didn't need to tell you. Nick wanted to mention something about his hair. He just wanted to check in with you, make sure you're happy about it. Keep working? Keep working. Ooh. Not happy, huh? Oh man, it was so good to talk to you. Thank you so much for the series. I hope the series premiere goes really, really well. Bye.
Should have never picked up that.